Alright, here's a small project update on my RASS project. There's been some big developments since the last time I made a project update. So I started off with my own front-end development first for the project, but I switched to LibreChat upon a friend's suggestion. And this is actually very, very convenient and useful. And here's how the LibreChat interface looks. It's pretty similar to how OpenAI's ChatGPT layout is. So I created my own fork of the LibreChat repository, and I created a sub-module of it in my main enhanced RAS repository. And I've just been trying to refine the whole user experience since then, since my backend is already in place. So my project has an MCP server, and I can just go here and enable RAS hybrid search and start here. I've done tons of testing and prompting already with loads of various results. Some not so good, some very good, so there is a whole spectrum of results. But before implementing any of this, I made sure that my RAS engine was grounded in the context it was retrieving. It wasn't just making stuff up, it actually knew what it was talking about and it was accurate. And this I accomplished by using TrueLens, which is an LLM or a RAG evaluator basically. And after countless trials and errors, I got the groundedness score really high up, and context relevance and answer relevance were pretty high up as well. These only show up as 0.625 since I included some fake or some questions that were actually not relevant, and the LLM wouldn't have the answer to those. So if it would have scored perfectly in those, that would have been a concern, but these are lower than 1, so that's fine. But yeah, this is pretty much ready to go now, and I'll proceed to deploy it next. One thing I did configure a lot and tested and messed around with a lot was the number of retrieved context that would, or the documents or the chunks that would actually formulate the last final answer. You don't want that number to be too high. You don't want it to be too low either. If it's too high, there's too much noise in the final answer, and if it's too low, then the answer is actually not correct, and the LLM actually doesn't correctly answer the question at all. But I think I found a sweet spot by setting it to 50 chunks to retrieve to formulate the final generated answer. As you can see, I'm getting much more nuanced and much more detailed answers now, which is very pleasant to see. However, one thing I wanted was citations, like the actual context that is being used for the final answers. I messed out a lot with LibreChat's text streaming services and interfaces. However, to no avail, I couldn't get the text to be streamed like a typewriter or as the LLM generates the tokens one by one, but I still settled for just getting the final output. Also, I made sure it only gives answers to documents it has ingested and doesn't make stuff up. And yeah, I look forward to just deploying this now and playing around with it.